Sittichai put on a clinic of how to deal with a pressure fighter in kickboxing against Masaaki Noiri. Noiri wants everything on a 50-50, meaning both fighters are stood directly in front of each other. He cuts the ring, stays in front of his opponent, and wears them down. He was at an immediate disadvantage in this contest as the arena was a circular cage. It is much more difficult to cut an opponent off in a circle than in a squared ring, and I feel like his lack of experience in this setting really showed. Sittichai did an excellent job of beating Noiri's right hand by either positioning himself just outside of it to his own left or by pivoting around Noiri's closed side to his right. In this first example, we see Sittichai score with his left kick and step back deep to his left and then step off. This made Noiri hesitate and abandon throwing the right hand. He then followed Sittichai across, cutting him off and landing his left teep. Sittichai, knowing he had to gain some respect, opted to have an exchange and land some significant shots. He faked his own teep, getting a reaction from Noiri, who adopted a high guard, and then attacked both head and body. Sittichai dominated the inside foot position and knew he had his shots lined up and only had to worry about the right hand return from Noiri. He put himself just to the outside of Noiri's right hand, which gave him a positional edge if he needed to pull to evade the oncoming shot. He loves the combination of jab, into cross the body, into a lead uppercut to stand the opponent up and then finish with another backhand. He throws this combination all the time. The final punch split the guard of Noiri. Sittichai then exits out of the side and continues moving to his left, outside of Noiri's straight right hand. Noiri was clearly annoyed with this exchange and applied further pressure. Sittichai, feeling like he was being pressured a little too much to his left side, knew he had to change direction and reset the terms. As Noiri steps in with his lead foot, Sittichai takes this opportunity to gain outside lead foot position, having an advantage moving to the closed side. He controls the hand with a jab before using a lead hook to disguise his pivot, and then pivot around the side, getting him off the cage wall. Each moment and exchange led to the next. Sittichai scoring his points and then planning his next move with a positional advantage, changing the terms and conditions each time. In this next exchange, Noiri attempts to change to southpaw. Sittichai exploited the step in and position to land his lead teep and really off-balance Noiri. He jumped in with the teep to add extra power and push Noiri back. Now, as the bout wore on, Noiri's frustration with these tactics was growing. He would begin to apply more pressure and force more exchanges by literally walking himself into the space. Sittichai started to get physical with his controls. He would push Noiri with one or both hands to create some space and physically shoving him off balance. He made sure to either deal with Noiri's hands by pushing into his gloves or forearms, stopping him from punching, or he would come inside to the shoulders and chest whilst covering his chin with his own shoulders. With his arms extended and the chin tucked in, he could jam anything coming around the side, and he would just have to be mindful of uppercuts. He was reducing Noiri's offensive options whilst keeping him off balance. Sittichai was aware he needed to continuously off-balance Noiri or make him fight from out of position. By moving laterally, he could get Noiri to step into the space and then off-balance him as he stepped in. Timing Noiri's footwork was really important. He would land his own shots and then make sure to off-balance Noiri after landing, taking away his ability to counter-punch effectively. His understanding of where to position himself to negate the right hand of Noiri was top draw. To keep this level of concentration whilst under immense pressure is no easy task, and it just showed how much Sittichai respected the power and skills of Noiri, as he seldom engaged on unfavourable terms. He wasn't willing to gamble. Sittichai is a smart man, not a reckless one. The most significant moment of the bout came from Sittichai attaining the advantage with outside foot position in an exchange. As Noiri tried to march his way in to close the distance, stepping through into the opposite stance as he walked, Sittichai used a hand trap as he pivoted around. Noiri, not expecting Sittichai to come forward in that moment, found himself too on top of himself, and he had to resort to a raised lead leg with a long guard extended, a classic Muay Thai defence to prevent clinching elbows, with a teep ready to stop straight line attacks. However, Sittichai moved around to the side and managed to snipe an uppercut into backhand as he did so, blasting through Noiri's head and visibly knocking it back. As much as Noiri shrugged it off, it set the tone that Sittichai was well and truly in control, and he could obviously hurt the Japanese fighter. Sittichai was scoring shots and then exiting out the side, nowhere to be found, which must have been immensely frustrating for Masaaki Noiri. This was all aided by the shape of the cage, allowing Sittichai to circle effectively and prevent himself from being cut off. I feel like in a ring, there may have been more times when Noiri was trapped, for example in a corner, and Noiri would have been able to get off a bit more and have more opportunities to get himself into the fight. The frames and controls of Sittichai really stifled the offence of Noiri, and Sittichai did a good job of controlling his posture if he found himself going back in a straight line. He would either tie up in a clinch, or here we can see him pushing down Noiri's head and reducing his ability to counter-strike effectively. The times where Noiri managed to have success were when he trailed a kick or a knee behind his right hand, or he found Sittichai sitting in front for a little too long. Then he was able to prod a backhand down the middle, but it was few and far between. He wasn't able to gain any real momentum. Overall, this was a vintage performance from Sittichai, who after being stopped by Gregorian in his last bout, may have been thought to be past it. There is still fight in the former Glory champion yet, who retains his number 3 spot in ONE Kickboxing's featherweight division. As always, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe. You can follow me over on Patreon, the link is in the bio.